that we've spent a couple days learning how Sphero works using the Draw program application and playing around with the blocks programming, we're going to go ahead and learn how to code using the blocks a game called the Animal Toss game using something called Conditionals and Comparators. So our objective for this lesson by the end is that you'll be able to define and properly use comparators and conditionals in a block coding program. So to dive in, the first thing you need to know before you can go ahead and start programming this with Sphero is what conditionals and comparators are. Conditionals are an action that takes place when certain conditions are true or false, and we usually see them written as an if-else or an if-then-else statement. And I have an example of what that would look like in the real world. So, for example, say that if my weather app tells me it's going to rain today, then I will pack an umbrella. However, else my weather app tells me that there will be any other type of weather, then I will not pack an umbrella. And so this is an example of conditionals that would apply to your everyday life, but we're going to look at later on how to apply conditionals using if-else statements inside the Sphero app. Inside the Sphero app, conditionals are found under the Controls tab. Some examples, they're purple. They look like if true then or if true then else. And you'll see right here, right here, and right here are spots for you to go ahead and put in your other block codes. So comparators are going to be what goes inside those sections that I was just talking about. They are values that are gathered by the Sphero or other robots from a sensor, and they are compared against a value that is set by you, the programmer. Some of the sensors in the Sphero app that we're going to be using today and as we move forward include the accelerometer, the pitch, the gyroscope, the velocity, and the luminosity sensors. When you're looking for the comparators to put into your code, you're going to find them under the Comparators tab in the Sphero app, but then you need to also add the sensor. What sensor is going to be used for the comparator, and you'll find those under the Sensors tab of the Sphero app. The comparators are also purple. You can keep that in mind when you're talking about, when you're looking for the comparators and putting them into the control. And then the sensors are gray. They look like this. And you'll actually see right here, the shape of these comparators are like rounded ovals of sorts, and they fit in to these spots right here. There's other ones that will fit into here, but we are not going to talk about those just yet. So now that you know how block coding works, and you know that if something is true, then an action is going to occur, but if it's not true, another action will occur. I want you to go ahead and use the blocks on this screen. Just pause for a second, find them in your Sphero app, and go ahead and try to put them together into a workable program. Now that you've done it in your Sphero app, let's go through the steps that you would need to successfully code using these blocks. So every program starts with the on the start program block, and the first block that we're going to add after that is the loop forever. This will keep our program looping until we hit stop program. Then we're going to add our conditional block. That's going to go inside the loop forever block. So if this is true, then something's going to happen, else something else is going to happen. And inside that true block, we're going to go ahead and add our comparator. And we're going to add some values here. But before we do that, we have to add the sensor. So if the total velocity is equal to 0, then something's going to happen. We're going to change that to if the total velocity is less than or equal to 25, then we're going to have the pink light strobe for 1 second 5 times. But if the velocity is greater than 25, we're going to have the light fade from pink to yellow over the course of 2 seconds. So this is what your final program should look like. All right, so now that we've talked about what comparators and conditionals are, you know the definition of those, you know how to place them into code. I want you to go ahead and grab the if-then animal toss game packet and open up the Sphero app to start coding your toss game program. I went ahead and added right here what the start program should look like. Then you can go ahead and pull up those blocks into your Sphero app and get started. Good luck!